Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. It's freezing in my studio today. We have winter weather back, and I don't have my earbuds in. Oh, we got to repeat. Sorry. My bad. My bad. I uh I go onto the YouTube because the first few comments don't show up for me in Restream sometimes, but I see you, Henny. Hi. Hello, Matrix Rabbit. So anyway, I'm wearing my beanie and I don't care. It is cold, y'all. It's just cold. Steve's getting a heater set up for me in here. Oh, my goodness. How's everybody else doing? Is it cold where y'all are? Because it's freezing here. Like, I am so cold right now. I just haven't been able to really get warm all day.
Is this close enough?
Yeah, I think so. There she is.
You want it on turn?
I'm here.
No.
Just on?
I was having an issue with studio for a second, so I apologize.
Thank you for being willing to come on.
Of course.
I just got on and it's cold in this here studio, and Steve got the heater turned on, and so maybe that'll kick in here in a minute.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Sandy
Steve.
Wendy.
Don't need an icicle, Carol.
For real, man, it's cold. I'm freezing.
When I was on my walk today, it started snowing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They've got snow forecast for us in about a week or so, a little over a week. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm covering up with a blanket, even though the heater's going. Maybe it'll get warm enough to not need that here in a little while. Brr, y'all.
I feel like we had such an okay winter that we're getting payback now.
Mhm. Yeah, we had several days of single-digit temperatures, and that's new for us in this area. We might get a day or two, but not like a almost whole week. So we had some pretty good little snowstorms. Hey, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Oh, so what's new besides your walk in the snow?
Not too much. I had a meeting this morning with the social worker through the Military Family Resource Center. She's going to help me have the conversation, like my check-in on Friday.
Yeah.
With child services, just because I have huge anxiety around bringing up my concerns.
Right.
So she's going to kind of be there as like moral support and fill in a little bit on like things that we had discussed. So today we had a conversation about things that she would discuss, so I don't have anxiety over what's coming up.
Okay.
That was pretty good, but other than that, it's waiting for a date for the apartment. It's, waiting. It's starting to feel stagnant again, but I'm reminding myself it felt stagnant before.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to not fixate on it.
Yeah.
So as soon as I was done everything, I'm like, I need to get out for a walk. That's it. If I don't get out for a walk, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah. So do you think they'll be able to help in your case?
I do think that they can. Now it is up to me to advocate for myself to my lawyer, because it's the third lawyer, what I think I need. Right. And then not even so much negotiate, but figure out what she thinks is best and figure out if what I'm thinking is just completely out in left field, or if it's something that might actually help.
Right.
So
right.
I have to wait for that conversation.
Okay.
But I am going to send her an email tomorrow just to kind of give points so that we can start conversing beforehand, because I feel like one conversation before is just not enough.
Yeah,
so
no.
If we can be going back and forth, that's right.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, if we can be going back and forth before then, and then I can at least lay out my concerns. I can lay out what I think, I can lay out what options I think I have,
Yeah.
and then she can fill me in from there.
Yeah.
So it's all of the waiting stuff that we already know I don't enjoy.
Downtime is a hard thing for you, huh?
Yeah. And then that's when the crocheting starts, because it's like I have too much time. So I'm like, I got to fill it with something. And I don't know if I've told everybody, but I've been crocheting like crazy to create things for the apartment, trying to like manifest a date to come my way.
Yeah.
So I've been having fun with that. I've got like a full like reusable bag, like one of those big reusable bags full of stuff now that I've crocheted.
Right on.
Yeah. How was setting up your son's birthday present?
Well, we didn't really get to set it up.
Okay.
We just had to kind of drop it off because he has to decide where he's going to make space for it. He has a mini home.
Okay.
And he has a full drum kit in the living room.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, that makes things interesting.
Yes. Oh, but I'm sure he's going to enjoy it.
Yeah. And we did get to give him a couple of shelves that'll help him organize, and so
that'll be good.
Put him immediately to work. So those are good things.
Yes, especially in a tiny home, you need all of the little, vertical spaces that you can to store, because there's not much floor space. How long has he been in a tiny home?
Gosh, over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was too good a deal. It's got a lot of challenges, but he can afford to live there.
Yes. Yeah. Did he purchase, I'm assuming then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Because now it's his, right? He doesn't have to worry about paying somebody else's mortgage, and it makes it a lot better in time. Did it come with the property, like a little piece of property for it? Okay, perfect.
Yep. A pretty decent piece of property. Yeah.
So he can build later on too, make it bigger, or
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like that idea, the tiny home living. I really do. I'm just too much of a maximalist to be able to like fathom a tiny home for a long period of time.
Yeah. The days for me to be able to have that are long past.
Yeah.
There would have been a time I could have made it work, no problem.
Yeah.
Henny wants to know, Plant Freak, on your way, and now you're in a position to get what makes you comfortable and happy. I'm excited for you. Oh, I thought she was asking a question, but yeah.
Is a response to my response to her question.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Henny. And again, the outward reminders that this is the path to being comfortable, to being happy, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really, really do. Because when that stagnant feeling comes, again, being in a situation, it's harder to see the end of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good reminder to be like, okay, yeah, no, it is coming. Slowly, but surely, but it is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Even talking with the counselor today, she helped me kind of reframe something, because going through some of the de-victimizing, they call it de-victimizing training, but I call it counseling, that I've been going through with the house. They keep calling reactive behaviors, or the questioning of myself, being fearful to speak up because speaking up before never meant anything good.
Yeah.
So, those types of things, they call it consequences of conjugal violence.
Yeah.
And the counselor today, she's just like, try not to think of it as a consequence, because consequence is almost like a negative connotation, right?
Especially in that framework.
Yes. And she goes, what this is is he taught you how to be able to speak up for yourself, because now you know what it's like to not have the space to.
Yeah.
He taught you how to be able to choose for yourself what you want, because you weren't able to. So I'm trying to look at it that way, but with all of the counseling, the fact that it kept coming up as consequence, it was just a common term. So I was using that term, and then I realized, oh no, that is a negative frame in my
Yeah.
head. That is still something that I'm kind of struggling with. Oh, this is a consequence of that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see it as, nope, he taught me something. He taught me something instead.
Mhm. Yeah.
As much as I, don't want to give much credit to the individual, but
I know. Yeah. It certainly wasn't teaching you in the way that anybody should be taught.
no, no, no. But if I keep thinking of it negatively, I feel like that's going to come across with many different situations and many different people that I've got to try and show a positive outlook to,
Okay.
and kind of be able to switch, even just being able to switch that was kind of exhausting, because my appointment was at 11 and it was done by 12. But then it took me about 2 hours before I could get up and go for my walk. And it was just because I was milling over that. And that alone was just exhausting.
I bet it
And I'm
was.
starting to realize that there's these tiny little words that I keep saying in my head that if I change the words, it's going to help spin it in a positive light.
Okay.
So I'm appreciative for that counselor, because she helps me with that a lot. Because
Good.
she knows that, like, in general, that is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So she kind of focuses in on that a little bit more, which I really, really appreciate. Because
Yeah.
I have you guys, and I have the chat helping me kind of figure out the positives. She
Mhm.
also knows she knows me personally and quite deeply since maybe the end of August, beginning of September. So
Okay.
she knows and saw the process of, I'm going to make this work. This is never going to work, and I got to go.
Right. Okay.
So
So
yeah.
you were when you started with her, were you still with him?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I
Oh.
started with her about 6 weeks. It could be longer. She's actually going back to look, because when we're talking, it sounds more like it's 3 months before I left that we started talking. If I go into my memory bank and some of the things that we had like conversed about, it could be anywhere from 2.5 to 3 months before
Yeah.
that I had been talking to her.
Right.
But that time frame is just so muffled in my head that I can't keep it straight.
Yeah.
I
That's
can't keep it straight.
understandable. That's understandable.
So,
Yeah.
and this is why I think it's going to be beneficial for her to kind of help out with the conversation on Friday.
Good.
Yeah, because she'll be able to say, well, this isn't just now, I knew her before. Whereas
Right.
anytime that they speak to the shelter, well, it's hearsay what she's saying about before, because we met her at this point,
Okay. Okay.
And I don't know if she's been talked to before by child services or not. It's a question that I know I could ask, and she's offered to speak with them, so it just leads me to believe that they haven't.
Okay.
Which is weird, because I gave a consent form.
Okay.
So
It's retaining and regaining your strength and authentic strength that was there dormant, now ready to reemerge as the beautiful, empowered, loving you. I love that, Henny.
thank you, Henny.
I love that. Love it. Wow.
I know, she's always got such great words of wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm realizing that when you've got these kinds of words of wisdom, you've been through your own stuff. So, and they haven't been fun stuffs, probably.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So it's been a slow day, but it's been a lot of thinking. A lot of thinking. And that's why I was like, okay, I really had to kind of like force myself to go for that walk today. It was a lot of convincing, being like, you do really need to go out and do this. And by the time that I got to my halfway point, I was like, oh, I feel better. Okay. and then turn around and head back.
Hello, Tara. Do you is there an update on your situation that we talked about the other day? I was wondering, and yeah. Anyway, woo. So I just got back from being at my son's. I don't know if I spelled that out actually.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, my son's birthday is tomorrow. He's going to be 32.
Happy birthday, Luke! If we don't get to see him tomorrow.
He probably won't. He works tonight and he'll have to sleep tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even though they're on spring break, he has to work 4 days this week.
What does he do?
He is the night custodian.
Gotcha. Okay.
At the student union at the university here.
Yeah, and probably the fact that they are on break is the best time for him to be doing some of the catch-up work. It's like understanding his job now is probably the best time for him to be doing some of that catch-up work that he wouldn't be able to really do when the students are constantly there.
Well, now he locks the door, and like they close it at a certain time, and he locks the door behind the last person out.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So yeah, it's not a 24-hour situation.
Okay. Oh, that's better than what I was thinking. Good.
We did have a decent visit. He lives in a tiny home, and he has this whole console thing full of records that were his grandparents and some that he bought, and he didn't have anything to play them on. And we did have a stereo with a turntable, so we took that over to him. We thought we were going to be able to set it up, but he's really going to have to make some space for us to be able to put in something to set it up on. And yes, happy birthday to my son. Yeah. And Tara, your situation, thanks for asking. I've decided to keep the info to myself. It's not my secret to tell. Hard to live with, but I believe it's the best choice. Yeah.
That's fair.
That is fair. And thank you. Let's see. Plant Freak, thank you so much for sharing. I saw it coming through, but haven't had a chance to open it yet. I appreciate you.
No worries at all. I just wanted to make sure that it did send properly, because I'm sitting there going, oh, it's been forwarded 4 times. Okay, so now we got to figure this out.
So yeah, it was good to see him.
I bet.
We don't get to see each other. We don't live that far from each other, but we don't get to see each other as often,
That's what I was going to ask. How often are you guys able to see each other?
He came by, I don't know, about a month ago. So yeah.
It's with working nights, I can only imagine. He's probably exhausted, wanting to go to sleep, and then if you are on stream and he's able to come over, then 1, you feel like I want to go spend time with Luke, and 2, it's like, well, I came to see Mom. So
yeah. Hey, Crystal, how are you?
Not good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
What's going on?
It's just partially allergies and everything else.
Oh, okay.
Partially work. Partially this whole moving thing.
It's all compounded.
Yeah. And of course, it's spring, so snow molds and my sinuses are killing me. And
oh no.
So yeah.
Oh, is there anything that you're able to take that alleviates it a little bit?
Well, getting home after work today, I have taken my stronger pain meds to try and help get everything figured out. And when I have supper, I'll take some more sinus stuff.
Okay, good.
And it doesn't help that it was a stressful day.
Of course.
So But I've just finished with the real estate agent, and she's putting a counter in for me where I will at least possibly know that I might have a place by the 27th of March.
March
Okay.
or
But I
May?
don't.
Oh,
No, she has to put it like I'm okay. The board meeting is tomorrow night,
yeah.
and then Kim and I are giving them a week to process everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 26th, we will be calling Janet at housing and asking her if I'm in, if there's a possibility of, Kim had phoned her this morning to let her know that as of the end of May, I am homeless, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's all she really needs to know, because if that
Okay.
makes it higher on the list, then. So hopefully that'll get me in faster. Contacted one of the ladies that lives there. They haven't heard of anybody planning on moving, so fingers crossed and God works. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so all of that going on. And then my manager talked to me today about I had sent him an email about one of the guys at work being kind of creepy.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I've talked to him numerous times about this guy and sent him an email the last time something happened that was more than. And yeah.
Oh.
And I guess the last time when our store manager talked to him, he denied everything. And
course.
when our store manager said that, I said, yeah, of course. It's like, what
Yeah.
creep doesn't deny it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, it's a gray area because it's the way I feel he's looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Ugh.
yeah, I know. He's just a fucking creepy old man. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We've been warned.
Literally.
You just don't notice when it happens. You told us. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's just a creepy old man, and it just.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he stands outside the washroom at the back before his shift starts.
That's strange.
Yeah, he's working on stuff on the handhelds that we have.
Okay.
But he's technically not even logged into the system. Like he hasn't swiped in, so he's actually working off the clock, which is another thing that they can actually get him for.
Okay.
Because working off the clock is a big no-no in our company.
Oh.
But, yeah. But no, it just. And my manager actually said that he has already let HR know.
Okay.
So, because I told him in this email, I said, this is the second written. I said, next time I will take it higher to HR. So he's already brought HR involved.
Okay.
Good. Good for you for stating that.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Like he walks up the aisle next to the aisle I'm working in, and then goes down the aisle on the other side of me. And this time he actually, as he slowed down considerably as he walked across where the aisle was that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And his head literally went like this as he was passing by.
Ugh.
And
Ugh.
of course my manager is like, what do you mean by leering? I'm like, staring.
Leering? Yeah. How about you get a thesaurus? It might help you. Like.
Well, he I think he mainly just wanted clarification.
Okay.
I think, and I don't know, he might not have completely understood it. He's not English descent.
Okay. So
So
English isn't his first language.
well, he speaks English really good and understands English, but he's got a different culture as his main culture. So,
Gotcha.
and sometimes those cultures don't
Mhm.
match the same as if you were born and raised in Canada type thing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, but creepy is creepy no matter what part of the world you're in.
yeah, exactly. But sometimes guys don't see it when it's other guys.
Of course not.
So
Yeah.
like I get my manager is very considerate and very understanding, but sometimes there's that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is for you, Crystal. I'm behind in your story. Is there only one place you're able to apply for housing that's subsidized? Zelda wants to know.
Yes.
Okay.
Canada is a little bit different than the States. We only have like in like I'm in a small city, like it's approximately 5,000 people. So we're technically not a city because you have to be you have to be 5,000 to be a city, and we're very transient.
Okay.
So and there is only the provincial housing authority, and each town has their own little subdivision of it. I don't completely understand it all, but I think that is a little bit of a better explanation. So
Yeah. When you're in a smaller community, it is only the
That makes
provincial at
sense.
that point. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I could like I've kind of half looked into private sector. The only thing is the majority of places in the private sector in this community, because for one, we are a transient community, and two, we are an oil community. So there's people that literally will rent a 1-bedroom shared accommodations for $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Ouch.
For a 1-bedroom, you're
Easy.
sharing the
Yeah.
toilet, you're sharing everything else.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's everything's up in
Good.
the air right now, and of course my real estate agent is like, well, you might be on the wait list for a year and everything, and I'm like, nope, God, we're not letting this happen. I gotta be out by the end of May. So that's what I gotta hold on to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think your faith is your strong suit here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and like the doors have been opening constantly through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Doors that 2 years ago were slamming shut in my face.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm getting sicker and sicker in here, and it's not good.
Yeah. Do so the people that are getting it do they have to be informed of this condition of the health hazard part of the trailer?
The thing is, I don't think it's the actual trailer that's making me sick.
Okay.
I think it's just it's bringing me down so much emotionally because I look at all the stuff that needs to be done, and especially with spring on the way, it's just I look and the leaves didn't get all picked up in the fall because we had snow before they even fell.
Yeah.
And I can't do snow molds. So like it takes a lot for me to even figure that all out. And so yeah, it's just a lot of, I can't do the physical work anymore around.
Yeah.
And so I look and I see what needs to be done, and it brings me down because I know I can't do it.
Okay.
Sorry, cat just jumped up. But so yeah, it's just, I don't enjoy doing the things that I used to enjoy doing.
Okay.
Because usually I'd be sitting there, ooh, seeds are in, let's see what we got so I can maybe plant my garden. And this year it's like the seeds came in and it's like, who cares? Even if
Yeah.
I get a spot, even if I get a main floor unit, which are the only ones that have balconies, I don't even really want to plant anything. I might plant some carrots, but that's about it.
Oh, Miss Sunrise Dawn, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about Kitty. Ouch.
Uh-uh.
Being a lurker today, y'all. Sitting at the vet waiting to pick my cat up. Truly don't expect him to make it. Concentrating on making him comfortable. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Miss Sunrise Dawn.
Sorry about that, Sunrise Dawn. I know how hard it is to have to put one down.
Yeah.
Housing prices are crazy. New studio apartments start at $3,200 in Boston. Regular people can't live here anymore. That's insane. You know, that's something that almost needs to be addressed more than wages, because you can increase the wages, and if they just can keep increasing the housing, it's not doing any good. You know, it's the cost of living that's the issue. And I don't know what we can do about it, but something, you cannot have a society where a bunch of people can't participate. That's no way. That's no society. That's no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Misha.
Well, the thing is, too, all of the apartments and houses that the authority owns in this community are all fairly old.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and they constantly don't have room, because we're constantly getting newcomers coming into the community that are needing places, and because they're just coming over from wherever, they can't afford them. So
Yeah. And I know that pretty sure it was countrywide for us, Crystal, that foreign investors are no longer allowed, unless they are a Canadian citizen, they're no longer allowed to purchase properties here to use as rental.
That's been the problem, around here is that all these investment companies buying up all the real estate, and they can charge whatever they want.
Exactly. And they're because they can charge whatever they want, it's bringing up the rental cost. It's bringing up the cost of sales. Like in Toronto right now, it's about 1.5 million to buy a starter home. A starter home for 1.5 million. How are people supposed to afford that?
They can't.
And I get it, it's Toronto. No, I do get it, but I'm sorry, like that's just too much for a starter home in any community, in my opinion.
Zelda says they joined to keep building high-rise, expensive apartment buildings that only rich students can rent. We have more colleges in Boston than in the whole country. Yeah. The rents are phenomenal, absolutely unattainable. It's insane.
Yeah.
And, and something's got to be done.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing is, they know that there's these problems, and yet they're not buying up the apartment buildings that are going up for sale, and they're not trying to build anything, because of course that's more money out of their pocket, and
Right.
so they're kind of half contributing to it because they're making it so that there's nothing available.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And even the ones that are supposed to be kind of, okay, we'll put you in this kind of housing for now, but this is just until you can get on your feet, and then you can go and look at buying something. There's nothing really to buy that people can afford. It's either really, really expensive or needs a ton of work.
Yeah.
Which then turns into a huge expense.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with the amount that they're offering me, because I know that there's a lot of work involved in this place.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that the siding needs to be done. I know that there needs to be better insulation put in. I know that the electrical needs to be worked on. The addition technically should just be ripped off and rebuilt, or not built at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's just a one single wide mobile home.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cost of renovation supplies went up hugely through COVID, and it's not like they've come down much since.
No, they haven't.
So Tara, Crystal is in Canada, but she's saying there's a website called Find Help that may be able to find local help for you, Crystal. 211 might be able to help too. I don't know if you guys have 211 in Canada.
I don't know what that is.
211 is the US thing. It would be provincial. So for me, it's 811, Crystal. But then I don't know what it would be in Saskatchewan, but it's basically a line that you call for medical, mental health.
Oh yeah,
and
we have
social services.
we have the 811, but
Yeah.
Okay.
So 811 in Canada.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I worry. I worry about where that's going all the time. I have been for years. I've been worried about it for years before it even got as crazy as it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can see it coming, but what is it that we can do as just the average citizen? Because it's not like people are listening to the average citizen. They're listening to money.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, and the reason I ended up buying my trailer in the first place is because I couldn't afford rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I bought my trailer, I was paying $65 every 2 weeks as my mortgage. And that was more than I really needed to be paying.
Okay.
But I could afford it because my lot rent was only, I think it was about $200 back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was paying, well, in 2015, I was paying about $60 for energy and $60 for electric. And now it's over $100 for each a month.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tara wants to know if Canada has housing authorities.
Yes, that is what I'm dealing with right now.
Okay.
Is the Saskatchewan Housing Authority.
Okay.
So, and of course, because I've been with my company as long as I have been, I've what we call topped out on wages. So
okay.
I don't get much more in wages either. I think it's like a 30 or 40 cent a year cost of living increase is what they call it.
Okay.
So, but I've topped out on how much I'm able to make. Because when you've been
unionized at all?
No, and I don't want. We can literally, I could message or email the CEO of Walmart Canada, and he would read my email and take into considering whatever. So we can talk to any level of management that we need to.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay.
Zelda says, I ended up applying for state housing for old people. I absolutely hate it, but couldn't afford the rents anymore, or I wouldn't be able to have a car and health insurance. It's just, it feels criminal that it's the way that it is. It's like mob. It's like the mob is running things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just extorting the hell out of people.
The sad part is you go into the bigger cities and there's you go up and down some of the poorer blocks and there's houses all boarded up and stuff, and then you have homeless. Well, let them live there for even a pittance and like make sure like they have to maintain it and everything, but give them something that actually will help them better themselves instead of having all these condemned houses that
just become fire hazards and issues long term.
Yeah. So
Tara says, I attained housing after less than 2 years because I was literally homeless and living in shelters. I'm not suggesting this, but otherwise it takes 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to take that long.
Okay. Yeah.
But and push comes to shove. And well, and as my real estate agent said today, she said, as far as she knows, this lady will take this counter offer and be okay with it. And we'll probably be okay if we have to push it back a couple of weeks for possession. But, and I said to her, I said, you know, on the flip side too, if I find out that I can get into a place at the end of April, I will gladly hand them keys over as early as I possibly can before the 15th.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the waiting's difficult. The waiting is very difficult.
And I don't do stress well, and I don't do waiting well.
I can hear that. I can hear that.
I'm BPD. It comes naturally. Yeah.
We have diversion programs to keep us in the place we're in. Do you have that in Canada? I don't know what that is. Diversion programs.
I don't know.
Where I am, there's diversion apartments. So if this one of the girls had left here and gone to a diversion apartment because she was told it was going to be 2 years before she would see an housing option. But excuse me, where she's looking was a different was like in this particular town that I'm in, and then where I'm looking is a different town. But the apartment is still 25% of her income, and she's able to stay there until something comes available. Is there something like that in Saskatchewan?
I don't know. Maybe in the bigger centers, but the only thing that's really here is like we don't, at this point in time, I don't think we even have our shelter up and running yet.
Wow.
I know they've been, like, the crisis center has been working at trying to get a women's shelter, but when COVID hit, the funding for it was coming from the oil companies. And they pulled out their funding because they had to shut down a lot of their work.
Okay.
So, because and part of that is because hotels were shutting down the amount of people that they could have in their hotels and everything, and the oil guys are they mostly stay in hotels when they come.
Yep.
So
Zelda said, or Tara, sorry. It might be worth contacting shelters that are closest and asking about diversion programs.
those are over 2 hours away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the community that you're in is very small, and everything else, well, it's the prairies. Everything else is very spread apart.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't have experience in Saskatchewan, but like Manitoba to Brandon was like 4.5 hours. I mean, not Manitoba, sorry, Winnipeg to Brandon. And those are like the two biggest cities in Manitoba. And past that, you're like all tiny little towns.
We are approximately halfway between Saskatoon and Calgary.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're smack dab in the middle. Both options are far away. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Saskatoon is the closest big center to us.
okay.
And even North Battleford is 2 hours away. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I love this community. There's they do have some apartments, I guess, in a couple of the outlying communities, but I don't want to have to drive in the winter. Not at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Sending lots of love, Crystal. I hope everything works out for you.
Thank you.
Cedric, I don't know who that is, has another court date in the morning, by the way, hoping to at least have some kind of further idea of what is going on at this time. Okay.
And I wonder if that's connected to her daughter at all.
Sounds like you've done your research and it's a waiting game, says Zelda. Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I hear you. The impatience in me is like when early. I don't know if you heard the beginning part of the stream today, but for me, that's when I start feeling stagnant. When I'm not getting answers, I know that I'm waiting, and then I start feeling stagnant, like nothing's gonna happen. So I understand it's difficult. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Misha. So hoping to at least get some kind of further idea as to what is going on at this time. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Whew.
That's tough, Misha.
It is. Yeah.
And the legal system is not very good.
No.
It's certainly not perfect.
So
Wow.
are you having to dig for all of the information still, Misha? Or are they starting to hand over some information? Because I know that you've had to dig for a really long time. You've had to get that information yourself rather than them being helpful or willingly giving you the information.
Hi, Rip Curl. I was going to try to type it in, but I can't get my cursor in there. Okay. All me.
Oh, Misha. Oh my goodness.
So in other words, they're needing to give him a public defender and nobody wants to take him.
They still didn't even know who was representing him last time. All you. Shoot. Ouch. Oh.
That's tough, Misha.
It is. Oh. 3 weeks, not 5 days a week. Okay. Thank you, Henny. This is the same link for Zoom so I can watch it. Oh, okay. So you can watch it.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's a lot more feasible than having to travel like that.
And this is where I'm confused. If Christina's a part of that case, why are they not informing her? You know what I mean?
What?
If Christina's been tagged onto that case, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
two girls that they're prosecuting for.
That was my understanding.
So I'm confused why the system is not informing Misha when it's her daughter that's included in the case. This is an injustice. Like, she shouldn't have to be digging for it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it is a good question, Henny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Leo. Okay, yes, I will put a link here.
Oh, I just did. You gave me a wrench, though.
Nice. You can click on either one of those.
I gotta figure it out eventually, right? Oh, look, there's another one too. Oh no, it's the YouTube one. Okay.
You guys, I just realized my light switch is not turned on and my computer is, I'm watching my battery go down on my computer.
Turn it on for the outlet.
Yeah, it's an outlet with a switch on it. Let me go turn the switch on real quick while she's waiting
For
to get in.
For sure. Tara, the restream link is to join the meeting. So the one that is 2/studio, that one you would click on and then you would be able to toggle in. And then the other YouTube one's just for the YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure. But the restream is the one so that you can toggle in to the chat or to the panel. There we go. Words are hard.
I was forgetting my words when my real estate agent was here. It's like, Kim, what am I trying to say?
Yeah. Now, for me, add in like everybody else speaking French that I'm trying to communicate with. So they're just looking at me like I'm a crazy person. And I'm just like, okay, fine. Let's try again.
Yeah.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
Hey.
So no, it's been pretty much since the beginning. It's been, they have tried to just shove it underneath the rug. Every single bit of it, because they messed up, I think.
Yep.
And because, pretty much like the autopsy, which a little bit of back information. My daughter had been homeless and was in the sex trafficking ring for about 9 years. And she finally had decided that she was going to come home. Right. And the man that she was staying with, which would be her pimp, decided that if she wasn't going to stay there and do what he wanted her to do, then by God, nobody needed to see her ever again.
Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I try, y'all. I'm trying to get better at this. I'm trying with it.
It's okay.
I got a call the day after Christmas from a detective, and I had spoken with her on Christmas Eve, and I knew something was right. All of a sudden, it was like the air changed, and she said, "But I'm talking to my mom. It's Christmas Eve." And she told me that she would call me back. I kept trying to get her to talk our code, because we had code words that we've always had. And I kept trying to get her to say something that would, let me understand. And, that I could have done anything, but she wasn't getting it. And come to find out, it wasn't her that wasn't getting it. It was me that wasn't getting it. She couldn't say anything. I really think that that's when it happened. I really do. And I think that it messed up from that part right there. Honestly, they said that I got a phone call from the policeman the day after Christmas, and I said, "Who did it?" He says, "What do you mean, who did it?" And I said, "Well, obviously somebody had something to do with it, you know." And he said, "No, she unalived herself." Which didn't make sense to me at all.
Because she was on her way home.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing Chris, knowing her, she was
Yeah.
the Puritan child. She was the one that always made sure. She just was, there was so much good in her, and she would have been the person to want to even hold one. So it just didn't make sense. I got her autopsy back, and it says the very first sentence of it was she was a known drug user.
And
the very first sentence, basically, like they were saying, well, it didn't really matter because, you know, she was a known drug user. Mom was 600-something plus miles away, so she didn't have any family.
wow.
The autopsy,
Except she did.
Her autopsy, her left lung, which is where your heart rests. Your left lung should always be less in size than your right, because your heart rests there. Hers was 1.5 times larger than her right, which, you know, it just, none of it makes sense to me. And I think that they just have screwed up her entire case, and they just didn't care because she was just another drug addict, another user, another prostitute that, you know, let it take care of itself kind of thing.
It's not right.
The autopsy said that she died from a gunshot wound. It also said that there was not a gun or a bullet found on the scene.
Yeah. So,
how does that happen?
So how? Yeah.
Until September, it was left at she unalived herself. I spoke with, because I couldn't believe it, because she told me that she was going to call me back. And they didn't have anybody to ID her. And so I just was still in disbelief that anything had even though I knew after Christmas Eve.
Lordy.
I talked to Thea. I called her phone and expected her to pick up, and it was a man. And that man talked to me for almost an hour, and by God's good grace, I thought enough to record it.
Okay.
I've got a recording of him talking to me.
Okay.
And he told me that it basically was my fault. That, you know, if I wouldn't have got her to come home, and he told me that she had gotten herself clean.
Wow. Oh, man. Oh.
She was coming home.
Yeah.
You could tell whenever I'm talking to him that you can tell when the drugs come, because you could tell when the drugs were wearing off. You could tell whenever they came, whenever he changed. I can tell you everything that's going on during this phone call. And so I hand this to the police, and they tell me that there's an all points bulletin out for him, that they're constantly on the lookout for him. And then July, which, mind you, I'm not told until September that is an active homicide. In July, the 3rd of July, another woman who happened to be the only person on the police report as a witness for Christina was found beaten to the end in the very same apartment complex as Christina. this woman did not have to.
No.
Because if they would have actively been looking
Yeah.
for him,
Yeah.
considering that he has had several protective orders placed on him since then.
Since then or
Protective
before then?
orders that are supposed to be protected. Well, during the time.
Okay.
Since everything happened with Christina.
Dang.
So how does that happen if they get protective orders put on him, but he's got an APB out? You know, just another one of those, because I feel like I am so angry about this other girl, and nobody else seems to understand that if they would have done what they told me they were doing, then she would still be here and be a mom to her children.
Oh,
I didn't know this woman.
Oh,
but
man.
that happened on the 3rd, and the 5th, this man was arrested. They had her autopsy back. And in America, the 4th of July is a holiday. Yeah. And so it took 1 day for an autopsy when it took the full 90 days. I'm sorry, full 90 days for us to get back this autopsy on Christina, with me calling constantly. Can I please know what's going on? Something's not right. What is, tell me something.
Yeah.
Misha? Yeah. Tara smiling says she's praying for you and your family.
Thank you.
Yeah. A lot of people are sending lots of love too in the chat.
Yeah.
God,
It's maddening.
it is. Man, girl.
The fact that still yet, even after that, I'm not even told until September.
Right.
This girl's family, her sister works on the police department just the next town over. Her sister's husband is a 30-year veteran for the Baton Rouge Police Department. Could that be why they had such quick results?
Yep. Wow.
Man.
My daughter should have had just as much importance.
Right.
And if they would have listened, if they would have done, And so it's hurtful. It's very, very, I just want to go off and go stupid, crazy Misha. But I should have done it before.
Yeah. Oh. So
there's just a lot. There's a lot. And she was found.
Has the trial already occurred, or is it about to get underway?
Yeah. That's something else.
No, I mean today's
he's
hearing.
already had
Today's hearing is what I'm asking about specifically.
What do you mean?
I thought there was a hearing for the guy today.
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
I may have put today. I don't know why. I could have. I have a migraine too, so it's like not all.
No,
here.
I may have misread. I may have misread.
So, Misha, is that the trial already started? Is this one of the dates for the trial, or is this still preliminary?
I was told by the sister that there had already been court has happened. And then I was told about this time or last time from her. And that was a couple months in advance.
Yeah.
And then I was told the day before from the district attorney about court happening. The day before. And it was like 4:30 in the evening that they called me and said, I'm so sorry about the lateness. We just now found out. I find out that early,
Yeah.
It's just, it's maddening. It's so just,
yeah.
And I think that it's just that they messed up. I mean, I'm thinking that the whole way through it, it's messed up. There's the police department that owned part of the apartment complex that my daughter was in. Her and I know that this other girl and that man and one other girl were squatters. I know that she had been there for a year because I had that address she'd given me to mail her stuff. These are abandoned, decrepit, and as the policeman told me when they first got a hold of me that it was a trap house. But there's Baton
what does
Rouge
that mean?
city officials. A trap house is where you go to do the drugs, you go to do the it's like where everybody goes to party, kind of like
Okay.
just a place that nobody cares about, a place that people just go to hang, that, you know, not a good place.
Yeah.
No.
And I feel like that there's a lot more to it than what we're told. And I think that they were just trying to hide it all. And I'm mad, and I want to expose everything. They've not told me nothing. They have not told me to not say anything. They've not told me to, you know, this is going to happen here. The only thing that they've told me was that there was an APB out and that they were actively trying to find him. He worked across the street.
Oh, wow.
They served him protective orders. He's got so many women complaining about him being abusive. This other girl, it showed on her autopsy that it was partially the immediate results, but it was also past results. Also, she had past bruising, and she had trauma on trauma from this man. Why wasn't he taken in? Why was he still able to walk the streets?
Wow.
And so the fact that they charged him after the fact means that they obviously found something of Christina's at this place that they were able to charge him with both. But it feels like she's just an add-on case.
Yeah.
And it was like nobody even knew that my world stopped.
Mm-hmm.
The only mention that there was of her anywhere was just on a it was sorry y'all, I can't even think, where they're trying to fight gun control. They used her as another name to be added as a victim of that, which hurt beyond, you know. Nobody even batted their eyes that I lost my daughter. Nobody batted their eyes that my daughter went through hell. You know, she had so many times that she could have gotten help, and instead they just, you know, she was found in a ditch one time. Like nothing. Like she was the bad person. She was the bad person. And nobody goes out to be that. Nobody goes out to be that.
Nobody says, I want to be a drug addict when I grow up. Nobody says that.
So many names, and I've saved everything, and there's so many names. There's so much just on Facebook alone, and the different things that I had tracked and found and tried. You know, I tried to give them all that. They didn't want it. How many more girls are out there? Because she had so many different names, and there was so many different, like, the different people would say they had a different language of talking, like codes, and they didn't want any of it. Who is fighting for our kids out there?
Right. Well,
Not the system.
Not the system. We've got to do better when it comes to addicts. We've got to do better. That it's not something anybody, if anybody who is not a drug addict or alcoholic would just stop and think that nobody aims to be that. Nobody sets out to be addicted to a substance they cannot get free from once it's got hold of them.
And if they were to ask every person that I know that has started out becoming a drug addict, there's reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a reason why you would go to use. There's a reason why you continue to use. There's a reason what keeps you from being able to keep trying to be sober or to, you know, there's a reason. Every single person has a story.
Right.
She was failed literally from her mama and her daddy, her grandparents, every single person that we should be able to count on. Every single one of us failed her.
Mm. And nobody fails their kids on purpose. That there, you know, at the end of the day, there is a thing, you know, when you give birth to a person, and people make choices, and sometimes those choices break your heart.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around it, you know. Everybody makes decisions. Not that she did, but my understanding is that it was forced on her. That's terrible.
Her dad. The whole reason she was even in Louisiana is because she was trying to escape what had happened when she found her dad. And trigger warning, when she turned 18, she went to go try to have a relationship with him. And for her very first time of being IV use, that was her dad. And then he decided to introduce her to another thing. And she didn't know. I didn't even know this. I didn't even know this until after the fact that we lost her.
Right.
And I can't blame her for leaving.
No.
I can't. I can blame me for not being able to save her.
But that's information that you didn't have. You didn't know that path was even started. Like you had said, you didn't know until after the fact, right?
Yeah.
Putting a lot of blame on you. That we all do it. We all do it.
You know, when they're 18, they're pretty much going to do what they have set out to do. And, you know, that's something that she really, really wanted to do, was learn who her dad was.
I just wish that people would look at all of the people that are out there on the streets right now and just see them as people first. If somebody wants to help somebody out there, go and ask if they would share their story. You know, you don't have to have money to help somebody. You don't have to go out of your way like that. Just go out of your way to say, hey, what happened? Tell me who you are as a human, because I still see you.
Yeah. Well, you know, let's honestly ask yourself, what could you have done to prevent Christina from going to Louisiana? Was there anything?
A lot. Yeah, because I was in my mode. I was in my Mrs. Spin Out mode.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot I could have done.
Like what?
I could have got my shit back together instead of just staying out, being out.
Okay, I agree with Tommy here. I'm gonna read this. I love you, but you aren't allowed to own stuff that is not ownable. You can make this into something beautiful, but you can't blame you.
Oh, I can blame all of us.
Well, yeah,
We've got to be accountable for what we've done. I don't like to stay stuck there. I don't, but I also have to show responsibility where it's due. And how can I
It is
hold
not
Cedric
you
responsible?
did not tell that man to go and murder your daughter. You did not tell her father to inject her with illegal substances. That's not, none of that is on you, Misha. None of that.
But I can't, if I don't hold all of us responsible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be stuck there. I'm not trying to say, that I did this and this. I'm saying if I wouldn't have done that, maybe things would have been different. I can't go back.
You can
but
do
I
that all day
can go
long
forward.
and make yourself just beyond crazy.
And I can try to do the best I can to do everything I can. Whenever I start to feel like crap, whenever I start feeling like just lay down and just be miserable, then I can tell myself I have to be accountable because I've got stuff that I've got to do to make up for this. And I can't save her, but maybe something else can come from it. Maybe, just him paying the price, just him going to court, going and getting punished is not going to do it for me. I want my pound of flesh. I want my pound of flesh from all of us. That includes her dad. That includes the city. That includes every single person that had anything to do with it, that swore oaths to protect. Because they don't just protect the daughters of those that are not drug addicts. They should protect the sons and daughters of every single one of us. And if they don't, then something needs to be done.
Hello, Kim. How are you?
Hi, Carol. I'm doing okay.
I like your lipstick.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a Mary Kay shade. Misha, I've been listening to you. I'm waiting for my daughter to get out of work, but I've been listening to you, and you are not wrong. You do need that pound of flesh, but you may not get it from somebody who's going to say sorry.
I'm not expecting a sorry either. I'm not.
Okay.
I am expecting for the people to open their eyes enough to see that this is all of us. We all have a part in this, and we can change this. And we need to stop just letting it be okay because it's not us.
Yes.
It's not going to happen to me. It wasn't going to happen to me, but it did.
Yeah.
And I want for those that swear oaths to protect to do their job. I want there to be awareness. I want there to be something to come of this, of my daughter's life, what she went through, more than just a name on a plaque on the ground.
Yeah. If the queen had onions, she'd be king. Get that pound from those guilty. Skip your share, eh?
It's the truth.
Yeah, but the queen still smells like onions. She still smells like crap. She's gotta take a bath too. She's gotta do her part. And that's, I think,
you're not wrong.
Your part isn't blaming. Sorry.
We're all trying at once.
Blaming yourself. Your part is fighting for exactly what you were just saying. Fighting for those who took oath to become accountable for what it is that has happened. It's not. I know the feeling of would have, could have, should have. Not to the same level of story that we're discussing for you right now, but I can't live in that. I can't imagine what it's like for you. If we are able to maybe focus that on the taking the pound of flesh from where they're guilty, exactly as Tommy had said, you're not the one here who needs to take all of that ownership and all of that blame that you're putting on yourself. Where it needs to go is on the people who failed, the systems that fail.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do. I just don't want to, let it go over either, because there was major my fault in that too. you know, and I'm not trying to feel sorry for myself in that. I'm not trying to any of those things. I'm just trying to say that I have my part that I played, and I can't do anything about that, but I have to acknowledge it. I have to acknowledge it. And I think all of us as parents, as human beings, have to acknowledge that we have our parts. And it's not just, you know, I got kind of stuck in before everything happened, just her being gone, I got stuck in the mode that, well, you know, I'm waiting for her rock bottom to hit. Well, her rock bottom hit, and it hit, and it hit. And she's just dang stubborn as her mama. And even though rock bottom hit, she kept on going, you know? And if I would have been in a better position, then she might have been able to come home easier. If I would have not gotten, and, you know, there's things that I could have done. And that's resources for people. That way I got fed up and I would just be frustrated and quit. Well, maybe if I find resources for other moms or dads who are going through it, then they might not get frustrated because there's resources there. There's laying blame, and there's holding accountability for ourselves. And what can we do about it? Because holding the finger is totally different. You know, it doesn't do anything. It just makes me want to go do something, you know, and that's not going to help.
Misha, I don't know where you're located, but is there a group of family survivors from violent death in your area? I know that there are some in some cities, and if there isn't, it might be.
I missed out on what you're saying.
Pardon? Sorry.
I missed out on what you're saying.
I was wondering if there is. Okay, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm wondering if there's a group of survivors, like family survivors of those with violent death in your area. I know some cities have them. And if your city doesn't, I don't know where you are, but you can look it up on the internet and maybe get in touch with somebody to learn how to start a group like that in your area. Because by yourself, you're going to be hitting your head against a wall for a really good reason, but in groups, in numbers, you'll all have different connections in different places, and you'll be able to support each other so much better just because you know what you all have been through.
And they may have been farther along in the process and be able to help you with where you are now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've looked them up. My problem is I look a lot of stuff up, and then I never go very much further with it because of my focus. I'll find stuff and I'll get on my strolls about it, you know, and I'll find all this information, but then my brain is not working right at all anymore. And so I'll have a lot of information and then I can't find my information because I've lost it, you know.
In terrible grief, that your brain shuts down. It's in survival mode, and it cannot be expected to hold all of the information. What I have done is I've got some color-coded just little notebooks from the Dollar Tree, and it's just, in this color I have this, in this color I have this, and they're everywhere and it's a mess, but I know in that color I have this information. So something like that, I don't know if that would help you organize at all, but you know, then I have my little slips of paper that I write little notes on, and I just tuck it into that book, and you know, that's how I keep myself organized.
I used to be really good at note taking and all that, and it's gotten to the point that I can't keep up with it. So it's one of those things that it's just, I'm a mess, and I have to own the fact that I'm a mess and just keep going. That's where I'm at right now, is just keep going. But I know that whenever I want to lay down like I did today, I just wanted to lay down and just not get out of bed for a while, which is impossible, you know. But I've been really fighting with my mental status recently. And whenever I get there, I just have to tell myself, I have to keep going. I have to get back up because I've got stuff I've got to do. She wasn't able to finish hers. I'm going to.
Right. Now I need to log off because my daughter's here. So I will talk to y'all later.
Kim,
bye.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Hi, Misha. I totally
Hi,
get
baby.
the self blame and all that sort of stuff. And it doesn't matter how logically you can know that it's not your fault. There's always going to be
It
something in
isn't.
your head that's going to say, what shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you know? The shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yes.
They're what do us in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not your fault. You know that logically.
You know that it's not your
but
fault, and it isn't.
yeah. And I'm so sorry that you're going through this. And
I am too.
There's nothing that anyone can say that can ever make you feel better, that's ever going to bring it back. Because how can you ever feel better about this? All you can do is manage, I guess.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here to help,
there's a
though.
part of me with that. There's a part of me that realized that when I was on my spin out mode and always was trying to get back to, the us that was, and there was always that hope of getting back to having all the girls in the room at the same time, and that'll never happen. The last time that happened was in the funeral home,
Oh.
and that was a hard thing to recognize. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't. It broke me further, but it is what it is. But
that's one of my favorite and most hated sayings. It is what it is.
I know I hate it too.
Yeah.
I use it all the time,
Yeah.
but because that's true. It is what it is, and you can't go back and change anything that's already happened. All we can do is try to
But we
not to
can
let
do
something like that
something.
happen in the future. Yeah, exactly.
We can do something. It is what it is, but we can do more. And that's what I just have to keep telling myself. I just have to keep saying, you know.
We don't have to live with the is. We can change the is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that we can do. The only thing that we can do is we can decide if we're going to be miserable or if we're going to be, how we're going to handle it, how we're going to, you know, other people do all this crap to us, and it is. But how we let it affect us is what we have to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets hard. It gets so hard. Just to breathe,
Mm-hmm.
it gets hard. Just to do anything.
Yeah.
As far as
you're still so early in the grief. Really.
I want you to hear this one, Misha. By honoring your daughter's memory and insisting on accountability is you doing your bit. You're an amazing woman. Please try to be kind to yourself as you find the path through this.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like that's what I was here for, was to fight. I've always felt like I was here to fight. And she was too. And she was.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what everybody is.
As hard as it is right now, Misha, and I get you're grieving and it is difficult. Is there some way that you can, and some of the suggestions have already been brought up, but if you can turn this from a negative into a positive, and as you said, fighting for what you lost, holding people accountable, but is there also something that you can do to maybe help another girl that's in the same situation that your daughter was in?
That's what I'm trying
another
to
parent.
do. We're
Because
working on, there's a movie being made.
Okay.
I'm constantly building, like I said, I lose it, but I'm building up resources. And I also want to help people that have to go through the funeral process, like what I had to go through. I'm building up and I'm trying to do the best I can. I just get lost in the process right now. But yeah. I'm always one that likes to take everything negative and turn it positive. I can't stand the negative. I can't stand where I'm at right now, but I definitely can't stand the looking at just the bads. And that is, you know, to help mothers that are going through this, because that's a horrible feeling in ourselves, you know, and that helps with the family, because if the mothers aren't right, they're not able to help when their children are out there like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's just seeing people and seeing that there's every single one of us, we all have our part. We all have our part.
Yeah.
And so many of us are just we're so stuck in this mode of we can't do anything. And so we'll just let everybody else. And that's what's causing our world to be like it is right now.
It's that thing where people just, when they see something happening in the street, someone will always expect someone else to do something about it.
Yeah. And we've become desensitized and complacent. And then what's going to happen when it's your turn? There's not going to be anybody there to fight for you because you weren't there to help fight for anybody else. And it's a sad, sad world when you look around and you're completely alone. When there's all these other people that are just the same alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We need more connection.
When you go to your room and you feel guilty because you don't want somebody to hear you crying. Because, I'm a big one of that. Don't cry. You can't tell it because I cry a lot here. But when you go and you feeling guilty, but then you look around and you realize that there's not even anybody to hear you cry.
That's tough.
Yeah.
None of us need that.
No.
And so that's part of it, is just awareness. The news reporter that I spoke with recently asked me what my goal was with all of this, my end goal. And my end goal is, to be honest, I want to have that apartment building that has such a taint on it right now to no longer be available for people just to go and to squat and to have horrible things happen to them. I want it to be turned into a shelter for people, a place that will be hope, a place that will give people place that they can be safe in and not have to worry about choosing between doing drugs that night because they can't sleep because somebody will steal everything they have. I want it to be a place where they can go and they can sleep and they can get a shower and they can have a place to get a job application because they've got a phone number, they've got an address to go to. Because right now there's so many people out there that just would love to get out of this world, but they can't because there's just no way to get out of it. I want that. That's my end goal. Because right now, so many people are laying their fingers at other people for not getting out of this situation when there's just no way. In the best of circumstances, it's hard to get off of drugs. In the worst of circumstances, it's almost impossible. It's not impossible. I've done it.
Yeah.
But it's almost.
Yeah.
So that's
Zelda says maybe when the court stuff is behind you, there will be more emotional room to help others. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've been in limbo a long time with this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the last court date was so confusing because, you sit and you wait for him to come up and they are seriously sitting there talking about bouncing, and they are bouncing in the conversation back and forth because nobody knows what they're doing with nothing. And it's like, what is really going on here? Because I know better. I see Law and Order.
It's supposed to be all over and done within an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in court. I've went before the judge a time or two myself. And it was very frustrating because you don't even know who's representing. They don't know what they're charging. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right that they should be charging for both cases together. I'm sorry. I don't. I think that Christina deserves her day in court and deserves to hear him say he's guilty. You know, so it's just, that's probably one of the things on my list that I've got a lot of crap to do, y'all.
Yeah. Misha, you will make a wonderful advocate for others facing horrendous situations in a similar vein to this. Unfortunately, there's no quick fix. Pace yourself. Take time to grieve along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's something that I didn't really do and haven't really done, is the grieving process. I'm like, I grieve all the time, obviously, but the actual grieving.
It's because you're so focused on getting justice that it's hard to sit there and focus on your actual feelings about it because you're still trying to get everything done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it sucks because you shouldn't have to be pushing for it. It should be the system that does it. But
that's right. It is called the justice system.
And they do swear They're an oath to protect, serve, and protect. And I'm sorry, but
themselves. Sorry.
you know,
I feel
yeah.
like they serve and protect themselves and the government, not very little about us.
That's my whole point, you know, and it's not fair that this has turned into that either. But at the same vein, it's going to be because, you know, the full amount of time for the autist, for the blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks. For the autopsy to come back, it took every single day that they had for Christina. But then with a holiday in between, they were able to have the returned autopsy back for the other girl. And there's something wrong in itself, you know, and the fact that still 2 months later it took for them to even say anything about Christina, and very little was mentioned. And I'm not wanting, you know, I'm not wanting YouTube fame. I'm not wanting her to get her 15 minutes of fame. I'm not that. It's just, I think that the world needs to realize how much of a loss that they got when we lost her.
Yeah.
You know, she was,
And I know
brilliant.
you'll make that happen. You will make that happen. I know you will.
Yeah. But every one of us have our children out there that we're having to fight for, and we've just got to do it. We've just got to do it, no matter how hard it hurts. We can't just be okay. And, you know, people ask all the time, what do? Do you just walk away? How do you do it? If it's killing you, the things that you're going through because of this loved one that is going through this, how do you handle it? What do you do? And it breaks my heart because, you know, I could have given them the answer a few years ago, but it wasn't the right one. But I made myself miserable looking at Jane Does from all over the country. I was miserable the whole time, except for the 5 minutes that she would call me. And, you know, then I was miserable because I wanted to tell her, oh, do you realize what you put me through? But then I wasn't thinking about what she was going through. You know, we just have to be able to let them know that we love them. Buying them something, you know, it's not the money. It's not the, you know, if they need something and then you give them $20 and they go out and do drugs with it, that's what they needed at the time. That's not the right thing. That's not. But do you think that it's going to help them or hurt them that they go buy? You know, there's people, you can literally die from not having certain drugs. You can literally, you know, you're dying every time. And that's something too that people don't understand about drugs is when you are a drug addict, when you're good, when your family all thinks, hey, she's doing good, that's usually whenever she's doing it. When she's doing bad, she's got a problem. It's when she doesn't have her medication or her drugs. When she is not performing, when she is just horrible and just, because that's when they're out, their body's saying, hey, this isn't good. This isn't right. And so somebody that's not been there will look at that and see something totally different than what an actual drug is.
It's like those who say, you know, just stop drinking. Well, one, you can't, you might die. And two,
literally,
your body needs it. It's a dependency, you know, and your
right.
brain needs it until you break.
And it's not you as a person saying, I need this. It's your body saying, I'm going to put you through this. You just watch out. That's your brain, your body doesn't have a say so, or it's not telling you, you don't have a choice in that. It's your body saying, I'm putting you through this. Right. And if we could get the world to realize that.
I don't know anyone in the world who wants to be a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever they're addicted to.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone starts out that way.
Nobody. Not one person ever.
Right there. That right there is the worst thing because, you know, you've got people looking and you're asking yourself, why can't I do this? Why can't I just stop? Why do I have 14 years clean and go back to it? You know, why do I do this? Because we don't focus on the problem. We just focus on the drugs or just the circumstances. We don't look at the people as humans.
I know why we do it. My therapist told me yesterday. It's called repetition compulsion.
I've seen that.
We get used to something. Yeah. And it's made a lot of sense because I have to take responsibility. I am the common denominator in the whole thing. So what is it that I'm doing that's allowing this to happen? I'm not blaming myself for it.
Yes,
but I've obviously done something to put myself in the situation time and time again. And my therapist thinks because I'm so used to trauma and abuse and things not going well, that if things are going too well, I'll sabotage and go back to my regular state of trauma and victimhood, I guess. And even though I don't feel like a victim, I'm a survivor, but being a victim is my my MO. I guess it's what I'm known for, which is freaking sad. But now I know about repetition compulsion, I can work on it.
Yeah.
And that's, that's big.
Yeah.
That is really
Yeah.
big. And it's the
Yeah.
accountability. That's huge, girl. And like Tommy was saying too,
Yeah.
the ritual of doing things,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
huge.
That's what
Yeah.
I
But you're not a
actually did
victim
smart
in that
recovery
aspect.
yesterday.
That's the thing that I think a lot of us get stuck in, that victim, I'm a victim or I'm a survivor mode. Oh, that's a tough one for
You
me
can just
because my God,
be.
I didn't even realize. I for so long
Yeah.
had thought I am just surviving. I'm doing good. I am beating this crap. Yeah, I was a victim, but I am doing the thing. And I am setting for my kids. They're going to see how they can survive from something like that and go on and not let it keep them down, blah, blah, blah. I'd never even focused on what the heck I was surviving from until just about 6 months ago, filling out a form for survivors. I'm filling that out and there's an anonymous survey to take. And so of course, Misha's like, yeah, I'll take it. And I start taking it and filling it out and realizing I've never left a room. There's a room that I'm still in. And I've never even acknowledged what the heck happened in that room. That is just something that I said, I'm putting it on my back and I'll deal with it later because I don't have time. Life is too busy. And I never acknowledged it. The being a victim is so much more huge than what we give it credit to. And yeah, I don't even want to go off on that tangent, so I'm going to stop talking because I do that. But,
I want to read these comments from Rip Curl Readiness to you, Misha. I can relate to how she feels. Even now, when times are much better, I still have days I just don't want to get up and do my everyday chores and responsibilities. But we have to, even if it's a tiny step. And the next one is, I know that when I don't get up to keep up, I just get further behind. And before you know it, you are years behind and lose everything on top of. And he's sending prayers. I want you all to know you are all doing great by meeting here every day to help and hold each other up as you heal and get stronger. You are never alone, so never not ask for help. And there's one more here. My kids and I lost their mom at a young age, and it almost broke me in every way. I thank God for all the kind people, family and friends who picked me up and kept me going so I could be there for my boys.
I thank God too. It's so good to see you in here. It's so good. It does my heart good every time I see you because I'm like, yes, he's here. This is, if not for the boat, I'm telling you, every single one of you guys have become my life.
Yeah. And he also said,
100%.
yep, Tommy is right and very wise. Even simple things like getting up, making the bed, and taking a shower are big accomplishments. So true.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
And they do make a difference. And, the more you do them, the more they begin to. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to share that I actually did smart recovery last night for the first time in a very long time.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It's because I'm coming up to 80 days. And
woohoo!
Proud of you.
No, don't celebrate yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it.
Oh, now.
Yes, you can make it.
You are going to be making it. Yeah.
Are you pulling my leg or are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why would you not make it?
Not sure. Because I don't like reaching a high score I don't think might be achievable again.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've blown my high score something fierce, so I'm struggling with that. That's why I'm doing smart. I'm going to keep doing smart. Because I think as much as it's good to go back and touch on things that helped in the past. And actually, smart recovery made me open to peer support again after AA kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's lots of things. And there's this thing called HALTs. It's when you feel hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or stressed. That's a big trigger. And my big trigger is loneliness.
Okay.
And I'm incredibly lonely.
You know, those are a lonely and a bored loneliness and boredom are really dangerous for addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dangerous
And I'm
places.
at that point. Yeah, I'm so bored. Like, this, all I do every day, like, recovery is my job. I think about it constantly.
Yeah.
And I have
Right.
to go, it's second by second. It's not like day by day.
Yeah.
It's a choice I make every moment.
Yeah.
Moment by moment by moment. That's right.
Yeah. And I'm struggling with it at the moment. And that's just the truth.
Is it a constant thing, or does it kind of come in waves, Christy?
If I think about it, I'm very good at compartmentalizing. If I just distract, watch some YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
plan
Yeah.
my camping trip in the future. That's what I'm doing at the moment, is just distraction.
Okay.
Delay, decide,
Okay.
distract, decatastrophize. So I'm in the distract thing, and decide, distract, decide, and I'm constantly choosing no.
One of the tools in smart recovery is, you know, get through when it hits you really hard, just get
Riding the urge
through
wave.
the next, get through the next 20 minutes and tell yourself that this feeling that you're feeling that normally would have triggered you to drink, it's not permanent. And you don't have to drink just because the impulse is there. Yeah, just because it's there. Yeah. Get through that 20 minutes. Get through that moment of crisis. And if it continues, get through the next 20 minutes of crisis. And tell yourself it's not I forgot how they worded it, but you don't have to use just because the trigger is there.
Yeah. So and I'm constantly, it's constant. So, and it's not like I'm sitting there going, oh, must hide my keys, so I'm going to go to the bottle. It's boredom. It's flat out boredom.
Yeah.
I'm so bored, you know. That's why I do so many meetings.
Good. Is there anything that you can do when those times of boredom hit you besides the first thing that comes to mind? I'm so sorry, Cosmic.
Thanks. It's more I'm learning that I can't be alone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna have to find a live-in type carer. Not because I actually need them to do anything for me, more so that I just can't be alone.
Okay.
I've never been alone. I don't know what it's like.
Okay.
I've never lived alone or anything like that. And so when I'm alone is when the ants, I guess you could say, start.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you found a place yet?
No. I'm not actually looking.
Okay. What would be the first step in getting you into a situation where you don't have to be alone? What would be the first thing that you would?
I'm not sure. I guess asking my friends for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is difficult. You know, it's really hard to ask people for help when you know what they're going through.
Christy, can I say something?
Yeah.
You say that you get bored. I have the opposite problem.
Yes.
I've never been bored. Literally, I've never been bored a day in my life that I can remember. I do not know what it's like
until recently. Yeah. Well, see, I never knew it either because I'm always doing something. I was always doing something. Always, it was either earning or learning. And
here's the thing. I want to say something to you. I want you to help me.
Yeah.
Because I think that I don't like to ask for help either. But if I ask you for help because maybe some of the things that I'm doing, I'm not focusing on, and I can't because I can't stop my brain. But you have the ability to feel bored, which is something I really need. So maybe you can help me and I can help you, kind of thing with that.
Sure. Let's go.
Let's
give
do
anything
this.
a go.
When this is done,
Yeah, let's do this.
when we huzzah, then my next move is going to be, I've got to go to the bathroom. But then after that, I'm going to get on the phone with you. If you are okay, if you don't have anything going on right at the moment afterwards.
No, nothing. So,
I need you to
let's
help
do
me.
this.
And I want to help
Problem
you.
shared is a problem halved. So.
You know, maybe that's something that we can do for each other. I love you. I adore you. There's not very many people in this world that I adore. I mean, you are just the bee's knees to me. And so I think that's got a good plus right there.
Thank you. I adore you.
We may be away from each other mileage, but we touch each other in other places that no other people can. So, and that sounded really wrong.
I'm gonna say, where is this?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sorry for my dirty laugh there. I can't help it. But yeah. But honestly, and I also told, because I don't normally tell people about the lifeboat or needing a meeting, especially. But sorry, the facilitator from my group, which I went to, that was, I don't know, more than a year ago, probably closer to 2 years ago now. He actually asked me to share the lifeboat and needing a meeting, and he's probably watched a couple by now.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, and it's actually making me really, really nervous because it's someone I actually interacted with before I met any of this or did any of this. So it's it's nerve-wracking, but also it's also opening. Hopefully, other people. Hopefully, it's going to spread some more ripples.
It's huge.
Right.
So, yeah.
Huge.
So,
This ripple
I did
thing,
want to
man.
share something positive. Yeah. But and also one of the things that they mentioned, which made me like, was connection. So I think it's what's the word? Universal, that people with addictions understand that connection is what helps us get through it.
That's right. You don't have to explain anything because an addict knows.
Isn't that something? You know, I could be in Walmart and see somebody else that is an addict and look eye to eye to them, and so much is relayed back and forth without a single word. Just there is that connection, and it's not, hey, I'm a low life junkie, because you know I was at one time, but it's I see you, and that's something that I think is beautiful among addicts, is we are able to see each other.
Yeah. You know, and
you know.
none of us has room, and none of us has any space to judge another because, you know, we've been there.
Well, we know we're good people. We know we're good
And
people.
that's
so
right.
obviously
That's right.
there are, you know,
Yeah.
you can't
the struggle.
We understand it, why people use versus judging people for using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to help ourselves. We want to help others because we can extend the love that we wish we would have had when we needed it the most.
Right.
And that's how it's so easy for me to say.
It's one of the best ways to stay sober is to get involved in someone else's sobriety.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Y'all are beautiful.
I'll make it to 80.
You will.
You will.
Definitely will.
Every moment.
Yeah. And reach out anytime, Cosmic.
Thank you.
Agreed.
I will.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Same to anyone here. So, you know, I'm always basically always online. So,
Okay.
yeah.
She lets me time travel.
It's good here on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
I love this.
See?
Busy
I told y'all. Did y'all
Busy
feel that just then? That's time traveling. That
gotta
feeling
read
that you just had at the beginning, that is time traveling.
I got to read this one. Izzy E says, we are all veterans of wars that we have fought in our minds. We recognize the eyes of someone who's been in the trenches of addiction.
That's right.
Truth.
That's right.
Mhm.
Hi, Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Hi.
And Dawn, I
I'm
look
just
forward
sitting
to
here
the day that you
really,
hop on.
really
Hi,
enjoying the little
Rebecca.
feet touching my face.
Mm. I love you guys. Thank y'all for letting me come on
Love you too.
and do my
Yeah.
crying.
Love you
Yeah.
too.
Love
Love
you
you
too.
too. Yes. We love you.
Any thoughts at 9 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, I will be very grateful because, yeah, it's going to be
Okay.
looking at him and all that fun. So,
Yeah.
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 I've got nothing tomorrow. If you need anything, please let me know.
Thank you.
Of course.
And that's 9 o'clock Central, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I pray you get answers tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. The answers aren't going to be and that's the thing too. It's just, even whenever they say he is guilty and he's going to get this much time, it's still not going to be what I want. And I just have to realize that. But it'll be a step forward. And maybe he'll have to look at what he's taken away from the world a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Zelda says, through all my addiction and detoxing, none of my people ever asked how I was. They didn't understand because they were never there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
So that's pretty true, because the only other person who had any type of understanding about me was the other addict in my
Fellow
friend group.
addict.
And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
different, different addiction, same reasons, basically, for doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I haven't met anyone with addiction who didn't have trauma, and I've been
Yeah.
to I've been to a couple of detox centers now, and lots of different meetings. There's everyone who seems to have addictions of some sort seems to have trauma.
Yeah.
Using
Yep.
is hurting ourselves, and we hurt ourselves because of trauma, because there's that little bit of, it's just, there's something about the reliving of it over and over. And I'm telling you, and that's using every time that we use. And whether that be eating things like, I feel like I'm being sugar poisoned right now. And it's just all these different things that we do. It's all to hurt ourselves again as punishment to understand, I think, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Totally.
Go out and
Yeah.
hurt themselves. They've never done
Totally.
it.
Yeah.
It's a form of self-harm with a reward.
Yeah.
You get something
Yeah.
from that version of
Because
self-harm.
then
I
you're
used
the
to,
one doing it and not somebody else or something else. You're taking
Yeah.
control.
as someone who
Yeah.
used to actually self-harm, which doesn't make any sense to me because I fainted blood. But there's lots of different ways of self-harm that don't leave visible scars.
Yeah. If only we could learn a way
that's
to
one of the
just
reasons.
do it in a fluff way, like a cotton candy way. Dang it. Because we're conscious of doing it. We just, it's ever available
Maybe we just
to do something.
shift everyone.
Yeah,
I
shifting
think
consciousness.
we just, well, yeah, and even just shifting what it is, like, instead of focusing on something that could be harmful, we should find good addictions. So
Yeah.
right now my addiction is fishing and survival videos. So I'm
girl,
waiting for the
yeah.
zombie apocalypse. So that's my addiction at the moment. I've changed the focus. So
Yeah.
because
Kristen,
I
we
can't
have a
imagine-
possibility of never getting off the phone with each other. We have to, that's something we've got to be focused on, is being able to get each other off the phone.
That's right. I've got physio at 12 today, so I'll have to go to that.
All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I got some stuff to do in a minute.
Okay. Love you, Misha.
All right.
Mwah.
Love you, Misha.
You're
I'm
going to
gonna
make
start
it
checking in
cosmic.
with him. Yes, you are going to make it. And I'm going to start like making it a note to be checking in with you a little bit more now that I know that you
Yeah.
are struggling,
Yeah.
because I don't like my sister on the other side of the planet struggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. We all have our moments, I think.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
that's when we have our friends to reach out for us, right? And then just you reach back too. That's all.
You
That's
can
all.
do this. You can do this. You've got this. You've got this, Cosmic.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Cosmic, you were saying that it's hard because you're getting close to your 80 days, and so you're scared that you won't be able to make it because you don't want to fail. Can you maybe change your thinking just a little bit and look at it? I'm going to get through today. Instead of looking at the fact that you've made it 80 days or however many days, you're making it through now.
Mm.
Yes.
And if
Well,
you
see, the
think
thing
of
is, I
it
don't
that
even.
way,
Yeah.
because sometimes when you're looking at, oh, well, I've made it this far and then I screw up and, oh, well, I'm a failure again. But if you can look at the fact that you made it through today or this week or whatever, I know it helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, also, I think having the counselling yesterday as well, like, and being told about the repetition compulsion, is just like, oh, that's explaining a whole bunch then.
Yeah.
Because I don't even pay attention to most the days, you know? It's only when I see it get to like a 20 that I'm like, oh, hang on, that's how many days is that? Because most of the time I'm not focused on how long it's been. Because when I did that the first couple of times, that was the failure date, because I used to write it up on my whiteboard. It'd be like day one, day two.
Oh man.
And then I'd be like, and then I'd have to rub it off. Day one, day two. You know, so
Yeah.
but now I don't do that because I'm a competitive person, and the only person I'm competing against right now is myself. So
That's right.
yeah. So, but I'll get through. It's just we all. It's a moment of weakness that I've had the last couple of days because I'm pretty much alone, and I'm incredibly stressed about a great deal of stuff. And that's the Holtz: hungry, angry, lonely, tired, stressed. So I'm just using everything I've got. And it's actually quite funny because the two facilitators of my Smart Recovery meeting last night said that if anyone's tried anything, it's me as far as sobriety. And it's something that seems to be a theme that people seem to recognize about me. And I guess maybe I'm a bit OCD about this recovery thing, and I should just calm it down a little and do something else.
Well, maybe.
So,
Maybe so. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll do something else for a little bit.
Yeah, and there is more to life than recovery. Just be mindful.
Yeah.
Be mindful that, of what situations you're putting yourself in. But don't allow the boredom to set in if you can keep from it. Play some music, play a game, play some Minecraft. Go to the beach.
Yes.
Oh my God, please go to the beach some more. We need it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was hoping I can start getting enough people on my thing so I can do lives. Jane's like, what are you going to put on YouTube? And I'm like, not for everybody. Because even though I know these are available to everybody, for me, they're not for everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I loved your films.
I'll go to the beach more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also because basically I generally go by myself, and so I'll drive for 2 hours, go across the border, and then get lonely at the beach because I'm like, oh, I've got no friends.
Oh. Well, do you have any friends you can go to the beach with?
Yeah, we're going on Friday. We're actually going to go to a tea tree lake, which is Indigenous women's business, and go do some healing. They're like natural brown lakes that are full of tea tree oil from the tea tree plants. And
wow.
It's amazing for your skin and your hair. There's particular ones that actually used to be used as like secret women's business, birthing and all that sort of stuff, because tea tree is a anesthetic type thing. So it increased birth rates. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll put it. I'll do it. So yeah.
That sounds
Anyway.
like it'll be really,
Is
really
your
good.
channel up and going now?
Oh yeah, I've had my channel for ages. It's just not this one. This is my
Okay. What handle on
recovery
YouTube?
type channel. Christy Robinson. I have to find it.
RISTY Robin. ROBIN.
SON. Okay, it's on my other thing.
Okay. All right. If you put the @ symbol and Christy Robinson in the YouTube search, you should be able to find her channel that way.
There's a video of me and a couple of my dog, but I haven't actually done any. That's years ago. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's Christy Robinson 1979. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I don't know. It's been so long since I've even looked at it. So, but I know I had 3 subscribers last time I looked at it. So, but yeah, I just want enough so I can do live. Just enough to live. No more than that. Yeah.
Aww. I've been upset about my cat today, and my other cats and my dog can sense it. They're trying to help by piling on top of me, but they're smothering me.
Aww.
I love cats. Yeah, my dog's, she's in trouble. She peed everywhere last night. I'm like, not talking to you now. Yeah, I let her outside. She still did it.
Oh,
my
man.
goodness.
Yeah. So I feel like I've had a meeting. I'm sorry for overtaking the last little bit.
No, that's okay.
Are you feeling better? Or are you feeling like you can get through today without?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And if you start feeling that the way that gets you to that space, reach out to one of us. Okay.
I think even verbalizing it helps.
Takes the power away. Yeah, takes the power away.
Yep.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, Christy, what time is it there right now?
8:48 a.m.
Okay, so 2 hours and okay, perfect. So I'm gonna keep that mental note now, and I'm just gonna make sure that I don't check up on you when you should be sleeping.
Yeah, although I wake up at 6:40 for these now, so
Wow.
It used to be 7:40. Freaking daylight savings. Give me that hour back. Yeah. No, I hate daylight savings. I should just leave it. So
We really should.
it was only for the war anyway, so we don't need it anymore. We have lights.
We have hydro.
We've got electricity now. We don't need to worry about it.
Exactly. Oh, cute.
Oh, it's snowing. I wish it was snowing.
It'll be there before you know it, man. Just
Not here.
Yeah. I'm so over snow, and we've got some coming next week.
Yeah.
Does it still snow? And is it spring over there?
It's trying to be.
Or has it?
The trees are leafing out, and some of the shrubs and the flowers are starting to bloom. But yeah, we've still. It's not unusual for that to start happening and then snow to hit us again, or some kind of winter freeze or something.
Well, as soon as March hit, our clouds seem to change. It's like they start to go fish scaly. They look like fish scales. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
clouds change. Yeah. So I can tell. I'm just like, oh, autumn's here. It's going to start getting cooler now. Yay.
How do you do with cold? Are you better in cold or hot weather?
Cold. I'm actually sitting in front of aircon right now. I can't handle the heat. I have very poor temperature regulation. So if I get hot, I'll either faint or get cranky, and everybody else will want to faint. So, yeah, I can't handle it. So I'm always in the aircon. Yeah.
That's funny. This cat that's on Sunrise Dawn is a pain in the butt, but he's my pain in the butt, and I love him. I tell him quite often that he's lucky he's cute. Yeah.
I used to think Tequila would think her name was You're So Cute because I used to say that all the time. You're so cute. Now I'm like, get out of my way. No, not really. Yeah. Well, are you in the Discord, Rebecca? Oh no, I can actually put it up on the I keep forgetting about Facebook. I'm back on Facebook now.
Okay.
People are getting
Oh,
cranky.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll put it in the Facebook group. So
That'll be
Perfect.
great.
Thank
yeah,
you.
there's nothing exciting on there at the moment. So
That's
just a couple of
okay.
ridiculous videos. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for more beach videos.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Good
And it's
stuff.
still warm enough to go swimming too.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. That's awesome. I miss the
Well, I
beach
learned how to
so
swim in
much.
New Zealand. Yeah. We had to swim in New Zealand in the pool, so in the winter. So I can handle the water here. Yeah.
Right on. Rebecca's not on Discord. On social media. Social media out most of the time. You'll put it in our Facebook chat, right? Or needing a meeting, one of those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't log into it now because I think it might kick me off this. So yeah, as soon as I get off this, I'll log on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the
All right,
chat.
well, I might head off. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. 3
Yeah.
if you feel like you've had a meeting. 2 if you still need to offload, so to speak.
Offload.
3, we got a 3. This one was a feral born in my
That is
parents'
so cute.
backyard. Wouldn't know one near him for a long time, but now he's gone from feral to snugglebutt. Oh, I have a sister too.
Oh, adorable.
So cute.
They are such they can be a pain in the butt, but yeah, they sure know how to take care of you when you're down.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It's like the paw up in your face.
Yes. And the kisses.
I saw a tortoiseshell cat on the way into we were going, where were we going? Oh, we were going over to my son's, duh. And there was this cat that was just sitting right at the edge of the road, like about 6-10 inches in, and we had to kind of swerve to go around him, and he just sat there looking at whatever he was looking at in the ditch, never flinched, never moved.
Cat
They
don't
rule
move
the
for you,
world.
you move for cat.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, there's a reason the Egyptians worshipped them, because they were gods. I still think they're gods.
Right on.
We are their servants.
They
Oh,
think
look
they
at
are
that.
too sometimes, I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, they've got us trained.
Yeah,
We
there
feed
you
them
go.
and we pick up their poop and they just lays around being cats.
Sleep for like 12 hours a day. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be a cat.
Right?
Right?
Actually, it was funny because my daughter, right up until she was about 12, would constantly say, I'm a cat. And she used to have ears and this little cat thing and she'd walk around and she thought she was a cat. I'm like, that's cool. Just don't do that at school. Turns out that's a good idea. I said that because there was a whole uproar about people being cats at school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I know, some boomers found out about fairies. It's pretty funny.
Well, I think most of us are cat nuts, Zelda. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to head
I
off
don't-
because I've got to start doing my
Okay.
housework. So
Okay.
clean up I made butter chicken last night and it's all over the kitchen. So
Oh.
Time to clean it up.
yes. All right. Love you guys and thank
Love
you very
you.
much. I
Yeah.
needed
Love
to be
you.
at the meeting today.
Right on.
Love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks.
Right.
All right. I should
Yeah.
probably get myself going here. I don't know. I started sneezing halfway through meeting and then I'm starting to feel a little stuffy. So I might just go take some relaxing tea to try and help me with whatever this is going on right now.
Right on.
I'm
Yeah.
really hoping I'm not coming down with something because I just
I hope not
can't.
too. I
I
think
just-
I just got out of something. Something just kind of had me a little bit down, like physically, feeling
Yeah.
run down. And the last couple of days I've started feeling better. So I don't know what it was, but
There's just so many things going around. It's probably a little bit of something, a little bit of something else mixed with it. Who knows?
who knows?
Anyways, I love you guys. I'll
Love
talk to
you
you
too.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Have a good
Well,
night.
You too.
Time to go.
Love you, Crystal. You guys, yay. I love this meeting. I do. Thank you for being part of this wonderful group and for helping the people that are here needing help and being so supportive, loving, and kind. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of Needing a Meeting. Hope to see you again next time. And until then, peace, y'all.